What's up, big ball and shot callers? Big Ken here. Welcome from the Grid to Rim Sport Talk Show. Joined by Jay for a second time in a row. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, Ken. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man, you did great last time, man. So Monty and Jim are out. Monty's got some stuff going on lately. Um, and then Jim just had his birthday. So happy birthday, Jim. He's at a dinner for his birthday, so I hope you enjoyed that, Jim. Um, some topics for today's show, obviously. Man, a lot of things going on in both the college and NFL. Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia all struggle last week, but they all win. Very close games. Tennessee wins in overtime against one of their rivals, Florida. Alabama was up kind of big against South Carolina, but they came back. It only was 27-25, and I can't remember the score of the Georgia game, but it was like I think a 10-point game, 31-21, something like that. But like kind of surprising that Tennessee and Alabama struggled couple weeks in a row here. UW got blown out against Iowa after being my boys Michigan. Like they just got whooped in Iowa. Um, probably the best game of the week, in my opinion, was the Ohio State Oregon game. That game came down the wire, 32-31. A little bit questionable decision by Ohio State's quarterbacks. Not realizing the time on the clock and sliding for it with no time left. I think he was just trying to make a play. Well, he knew there was no time left. That's why he slid. But he just slid like a second or two too late. So he knew like the time was running out because that's why he was sliding and not continuing to run. But a little bit questionable decision. But that was a great game. So we'll talk about some of that stuff, and then a lot of crazy stuff in the NFL. The biggest thing is the trades. Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. Davante Adams to New York Jets. We'll talk about that. Talk about some other. Well, going back to college, talk about some of the big college matchups. Alabama's at Tennessee this week. Georgia's at number one Texas. Michigan, Illinois. So we'll hit that up also, and just like I said, getting back to NFL, some of the trades in the NFL. Aidan Hutchinson injury was completely nasty. Cowboys get blown out at home. Cowboys are struggling at home, 0-3 this year after being so dominant at home the past couple of seasons. So we'll hit all this up tonight. So let's get started, Jay. Let's talk about some college football. You watching any games this weekend, or were you busy doing some pee-wees?
Oh man, I didn't have any Pee Wee games, but I did watch the Texas Oklahoma game. I watched a little bit of the Ohio State Oregon game. Definitely saw the ending of that one. And then I turned off the uh, Georgia Mississippi game because I don't
Yeah,
remember
it
why
came
it was
close
something.
all of a sudden. It was like
Yeah,
31-21. It got close
and
all
they
of a
came
sudden.
back. I mean, I could talk about the Texas Oklahoma game, but it doesn't matter because Texas
Let's
did
talk
their
about it.
thing.
That's one thing I forgot to mention in the opening because that was the Red River rivalry. It's actually written down my notes. Is this I went right past it. Um, yeah, Texas won big, 31-3. I think Oklahoma got to a 3-0 start. Then Texas scores 31 unanswered points. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn Ewers' first game back after the oblique injury, he comes back. He has first quarter uh, rusty at best. But after that, man, he picked it up and just ran away with it. Oklahoma offense didn't have an answer for that stifling Texas defense. And then they just couldn't move the ball on Texas at all. So ran away with that 34-3 win.
Yeah, Texas looks like a legit number one team. Like I said in the opening, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia kind of struggling, but Texas is just moving right along. Um, don't want to jinx them because they got a big game.
Now,
They got a big game coming up.
yeah, and to give Oklahoma a little bit of credit, they have a lot of injuries right now. So we were playing, a true freshman quarterback and probably the biggest game he's ever played in. And then a lot, they had, I think, five wide receivers out, their first five wide receivers. So they were starting a sixth, seventh, and eighth string, receivers out there. So he didn't have anybody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that definitely helps. But but still, yeah, Oklahoma definitely wasn't at their best, but Texas just looks like they're legit though, because they that they beat my boys Michigan pretty handily in Ann Arbor, in week 2. Granted, it's an early season game, and Michigan's still trying to figure out their quarterback struggles also, but they look good though. They haven't been in any close games. That's what I'm saying. Of course, at the beginning of the year, everyone plays cupcakes, but they are in, you know, conference play, and they're still looking really strong. Whereas the other teams are kind of like looking like a little bit suspicious. Like I was saying before, like they're in some nail biters against some teams that you're kind of like, I didn't expect it this game. Maybe in a couple weeks from now, but not not right now. So
Right. I mean, the gauntlet is coming up for Texas. We got Georgia this weekend. We got Vanderbilt following weekend. And then I think we have another bye, and then we play Tennessee, I believe. No,
yeah, I think so.
no,
I
it's
think I
Florida
think
after that.
Texas, yeah, because Tennessee still has to play Georgia and Alabama. They're playing Alabama this weekend. We'll cover that later. But man, Tennessee, man, whoo, they got a hard schedule, man.
You
If they
do.
survive this last month of the season, I'll be surprised, man, because they got it. They got a tough schedule. Um, them losing to Arkansas might have just killed their playoff chances. We don't know yet, but that loss might come in big.
Yeah,
Um,
it could.
yeah, and they almost lost 2 to be out. You know, winning overtime against Florida, like they were close, man. Whew, they were close.
And then
Um,
they got Alabama this week, and then I think 2 weeks from then is when they play Georgia.
yep. I'm telling you, their schedule's no joke. And me and Monty are going, like I said, multiple times. Me and Monty are going to the Kentucky game, and that's a very winnable game. But Kentucky's kind of like one of those sleeper teams, man. You gotta be careful for them.
Yep,
So you don't know with them. They're kind of up and down. One week they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, man. But they're always kind of like a middle of the pack team. They always get to bowl games, being 7-5, 6-6, 8-4. They're feisty, man. They kind of you just don't know what to expect from them.
for sure.
But before we get into some of the big college picks, I did watch the second half of the Ohio State Oregon game. I know Oregon had some miscues in the first half with like some special teams play and some other things. So it did keep Ohio State close. I think it would have been a close game regardless, but that definitely helped Ohio State. And second half was, lights out, back and forth, multiple lead changes. Um, both quarterbacks are playing really well for both teams. The Oklahoma transfer quarterback, the Hawaiian kid, I know his name, Gabriel. He played
Dylan
good, and
Gabriel.
then Ohio State's quarterback, can't think of his name, but he transferred from K State. I know his name. I should look it up real quick, but his stats wise, he was really good, man. He only had like 6 or 7 incomplete passes the whole entire game. The problem was what he did at the end of the game, like I said with the opening, with not realizing
Will
time
Howard.
clock. Huh?
Will Howard's the quarterback's name.
Howard, there you go. I know he played multiple years at K State, pretty good quarterback.
Yep.
K State is a D1 team. I do think this was probably, and he's played in big games because he's been probably in some bowl games with K State. But even though he's been in some of these big games with K State, I don't think it was like this game. Him being in the Big Ten, you know, the Ohio State Michigan game is obviously going to be another big test for him, being one of the biggest rivalries in college football. But I think the lights definitely are a little bit brighter for Howard being in the Big Ten versus the Big 12, and he played good except for the end. Like I said, it's just unfortunate, man. And then I don't know if you saw, but their freshman phenom receiver had the offensive pass interference, the OPI. That was a good call. I know a lot of
I
Ohio State
didn't see
fans
that
don't
play.
think so. Yeah, so a couple plays before his run when he ran out of time on the clock, running up the middle of the field. Probably like couple plays before that, he completes a pass to the freshman phenom, just like the Alabama freshman phenom. These two kids are the best, two of the best wide receivers in college football, and they're both like true freshmen, like 17, 18 years old, man. And he had a great game overall this freshman, but he did definitely pass off. It was a pass to the sideline, probably about at the 20-yard line or just inside the red zone, but he definitely pushed off to gain separation like before he cut to the outside. He was running up, pushes off, cuts to the outside, makes the catch, goes out of bounds, but he definitely pushed off. I know they were trying to say he didn't, but he definitely did. And that's me being completely objective, not being a Michigan fan. Like he definitely pushed off. It was a good call. But that
Yeah,
kind of like set things like in backwards motion for like the next 2 or 3 plays, and Ohio State like loses the game. So
I mean, as sideline officials for both of us, we got to make that call if we see it. So,
yeah, we're both
and
wings, and we see that. We got to call that, man.
it's an easy one to see when you see that arm extended. You know that it's an OPI. So,
Yep. If he would have shrugged him or something, I think we'd lay off of that. But like you said, key words: arm extended, gain separation. Yeah, that's gonna get called, man. That's like I said, that's the easy one to pick up. So to me, there's nothing for them to complain about. But of course, they want to because it's a close game.
yeah,
But came down the wire, But that was probably the best game of this weekend, because a number 2 versus number 3 matchup. So they kind of this like flip flop spots here. I think Oregon's number 2 now, and Ohio State's number 4. So
yeah,
they're
they
still
are.
both in very good positions moving forward for the rest of the season. Um, let's get into your matchup before I talk about Tennessee, Alabama. Number 5 Georgia at number 1 Texas. What do you think the keys are to the game? The keys are to the game for Texas to win this game against Georgia. Georgia is definitely more desperate because they know they can't lose the second game, and Texas is still undefeated. I know that.
The keys to this game, I believe, are going to be our defense.
Yep.
If we can stop that pass game that they got, I think that's going to be huge because I feel like that's probably our weakest area is our defensive backfield.
I agree. Your front seven was strong last year. It's the same thing this year. Yeah.
Yeah, like they can stop the run game, but I get scared when they play a decent quarterback that can throw the ball down the field
And
accurately.
yeah, the Georgia guy can't throw. He was a little
Absolutely.
shaky in the Alabama game, but he had a really good second half, and he's definitely a legit quarterback. Yeah.
Yep. And as long as Quinn Ewers shows up and he does Quinn Ewers things, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, you guys have good
Offensive,
receivers too, good running back, like I said, good defense in
yeah.
the front seven. It could be high scoring. I don't know if it's going to be like a low scoring game.
I think
So
offensively we got to get the ball on the ground, get the run game going to set up that pass offense.
yeah.
Quinn Ewers likes the short screens, the RPOs,
Mm-hmm.
but if we don't have a run game, none of it works. So
Agreed. Obviously, it's at home, so that helps Texas. It's at the Cotton Bowl. Um, Not Cotton Bowl. I'm sorry. What is
no, we're at DKR.
yeah, DK? I'm sorry. I'm thinking Cotton Bowl, man. I'm going back to my old days. Um, sorry about that.
That's
But
where we played Oklahoma.
yeah. um, I obviously want Texas to win. So what do you think the score is going to be?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think it's going to be a low scoring game, honestly, because I think the
I think
Texas
it's going to be
defense
high,
is
but
going
I'll
to
hear you
make
out in this
them.
one.
I think the Texas defense is going to make them one dimensional, make them throw the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and then
That's
run that.
true. I like that.
So
Hmm.
I'm thinking 17-13 Texas.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking a little more high scoring, but I was thinking more like 27-24, 30-27. But we'll see which way it comes out.
Okay.
But the good thing is, me and you definitely, we both want Texas to win.
Oh, absolutely.
So with me and my high school, you're obviously born and raised there, but me as my high school roots, being a military brat, Army brat in El Paso, Texas, still got a lot of good friends back in Dallas and El Paso area. So some of my friends have migrated to Dallas and Houston area. So um, definitely going for Texas. All right, number 7, Alabama against number 11, Tennessee. Tennessee did drop to 11. They're still barely in the college football playoffs if the season ended today. They won the game. They still dropped a couple spots because they beat Florida. in a squeaker in overtime, 23-17. I don't know what's going on with Tennessee's offense. Some of it's probably because they're playing more quality opponents. I think that's some of it, but they still are very, very talented. And the last two games against Arkansas, they lose 19-14, and then I didn't see this game, but I'm following the scores because I was doing Pee Wee games. But I did check the score, at halftime and things like that. Came back home, was looking at the score, and they're down 10-0, but they do score 17 unanswered points to be up 17-10. But then, in the closing minute of the game or whatever, give credit to Florida. They score the tying touchdown. They make it 17-all going into overtime, and then, Tennessee wins 20-17. They score on their possession or whatever. I guess Florida does not. Didn't see how it ended, but I'm sure they just got interception or something. They didn't get it. I know they didn't get it in the end zone. That's the main thing. So their offense is struggling, is what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on with their offense. I don't know enough about Tennessee inside and out. My dad knows them a lot better than I do, but I know they're talented on both sides of the ball. But Alabama's struggling too. That's the thing. Like, I don't know where to rate this. I want Tennessee to win because I just can't stand Alabama. I'm sick of Alabama. I was so happy when Tennessee upset them 2 years ago. But both teams are struggling, man. Who do you got?
So
because they're both not playing very good right now. Not at their best, put it that way.
Yeah, the little bit of the Tennessee Florida game that I saw, it looked like Tennessee quarterback. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. Looks like he was
a hard name. Very talented guy.
Under pressure, he wasn't playing so well.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you.
So for that, I think that Alabama front seven is still an Alabama defense. So I think that Alabama front seven is going to give them some struggles. And I'm going to take Alabama on this one, but I'm not even going to attempt to score on it because I have no idea.
I agree. I just kind of wanted to ask you the Texas score since you're a big Texas guy. Alabama probably will win this game. I agree with you. But I want Tennessee to win, so let's make that clear to all viewers. I want Tennessee to win, but Alabama probably does win this game. But this is one of those games where I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tennessee figures out what the heck's going on from the past 2 weeks and they can get it going. But this by far is their this is the best team they're going to play all year long so far. Then they got Georgia a couple weeks later. So if they lose this game, I just wonder how the rest of their season will go. Like, will they fall apart, or will they just play hard and try to be like a 10-2, 9-3 kind of team, or the wheels just fall off and they're like 7-5? You know what I mean?
Right.
That could happen.
Yep.
So, because they're still playing hard teams. Like I said, I'm going to the Kentucky game. Like I said, they will be favored that game, no doubt. But then they got Georgia. Then they still might have Texas. I have to look at their schedule. I know they have Georgia for a fact, and I think they still got Vanderbilt and maybe Texas, but definitely Georgia and definitely Kentucky and Vanderbilt for sure. So they don't have an easy schedule. But I expect this to be low score. Well, if I had to pick a score, I would say Alabama is going to win this game 27-13. It'll probably be a 2-score game. I think Tennessee's defense will hold on as long as they can, but if Tennessee's offense can't do anything, they're just going to get tired. So, but like I said, I want to be so wrong about this game because Alabama has struggled. Milroe and them have struggled. I mean, they don't look like the old Alabama. They do got a new coach, obviously. I think he's doing great overall, but I feel bad for Alabama's coach because he's taking over for a legend, and that's some hard shoes to fill. And that'll intimidate some guys. They don't want to take that coaching job because of that reason, But he took that job, so he's been good everywhere he's been. I know that. So, and Nick Saban, Nick Saban's been really good. Like the last couple of years, they haven't always made the national championship. They had their big run, but they've been kind of been more beatable even with Nick Saban the last 3 or 4 years, I would say.
Yeah, ever since NIL came into play,
Yeah, I agree. That's a big reason. I agree.
You got huge reason. Kids transferring out all the time, constantly. So there's no.
Why would you want to transfer away from Alabama though? but people will want to transfer in Alabama. But I know what you're saying. NIL is big throughout college. You're absolutely right. You there, brother? We froze for a
Yeah.
second. Sorry, my connection
Oh,
must be
did we?
bad. I didn't hear what you said. Did you say something about that, the NIL?
No, I was just saying I think that was the downfall of the Alabama program and why they haven't gotten to the national championship is because of the,
Probably. I would have to
players
agree with
transferring.
that. It's transformed. It's transformed all of college football and maybe even basketball. Probably basketball too. That's even bigger. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, for sure.
I mean, basketball, as far as basketball goes, that 1 year and out thing is always it's been a thing for a long time now.
It
So I
has
don't
been.
think
It
the
has
NIL's
been.
hurt basketball as much as football.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Good point. Very good point. Um, so here's definitely a game that's going to be low scoring. My boys, number 24 Michigan at number 22 Illinois. Both teams have good defenses, but both of their offenses struggle. This will be low scoring. I do think Michigan will win just because of the fact since I don't think Illinois is going to threaten them too much offensively. So I'm hoping this is a game that Michigan can just hoping I do think they play a lot better with switching up their quarterback to Jack Tuttle in the middle of the UW game. I think that's the way moving forward. And last week they had a bye week, so hopefully I'm assuming Jack Tuttle has had a lot of reps so he could start the whole entire game for Michigan. And I hope that makes a big difference and kind of like springboards our offense here. We definitely got the running backs. We know that we have two very good running backs. It's just all about the quarterback. We have good tight end and Loveland. Receivers, not so much. They're average at best, but the tight end position and the running backs we got, and hopefully the quarterback can help out. So I think Michigan will win. It'll be close, but I think Michigan will squeak it out. I think it's gonna be like a 24-17 kind of game. What do you got in this one, brother?
Man, I've seen Michigan in a couple games this year. I haven't seen Illinois at all, so I have no idea what
They
they're like,
struggle
what they're
offense.
ranked.
They're okay offensively. They're not a juggernaut by any
I
means.
mean, they're 5-1 and number 22 in the polls, so they can't
They
be
are.
terrible.
They're not bad.
Um,
They just don't
you
have
know,
their strength is defense, like Michigan. In my opinion, I saw them
yeah.
play against Penn State and they struggled offensively. But it was a close game. But Penn State broke away in the second half. It was at Penn State, but it was
Yeah.
close for a while. Definitely close to halftime. But they couldn't
Yeah.
do anything
So,
offensively the whole entire game against Penn State.
so having not seen Illinois at all, like, and only having minimal things with Michigan, I'll make my boy Aaron, who's one of my best friends, is a big Michigan fan. I'll make him happy and I'll pick Michigan. I don't really have a score, so
Yeah, because the scores are hard. I'm just throwing them out there today, but I don't think it's gonna be high scoring. It might be lower scoring than what I said. Could be like a 17-13 game, but hopefully Jack Tuttle kind of gets this offense going a little bit.
yeah.
Let's,
While we're talking about college football, can we just make a note about Navy and Army both being 5-0 right now,
yes, thank you for
and
bringing
how
that
big
up.
the
And they're
Navy
both
Army game's
ranked,
going to
I
be?
believe. They're both ranked.
I think
Yep.
so. I know Navy's 25. I'm not sure about
I
Army.
think Army is 23 because Michigan's
Yep, they are.
24, Illinois is 22. Like they're like right in between.
Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome for service academy schools. That's so cool. I mean, Navy used to be good back in the day. In the past, 4 or 5 years, they kind of fallen on hard times, but they were ranked all the time for like 5, 6, 7 years in a row. Navy was just always good, going to bowl games. They had like a 13-game winning streak against Army, and now
Yep.
I think Army's won like 3 out of 4.
Two or three. I can't
They,
remember
they're,
exactly.
Army's been winning lately, though. I know that.
Yep.
So, um, yeah, so hopefully Navy can finally. That's going to be a big game if they keep up the way they are, which I think they will.
Yeah.
That's going to be. It's always a good game, but now it's going to be really hyped
It's
up.
gonna
They're
be.
both ranked going into that
Yeah.
game.
It's gonna be
Wow.
an awesome President's Cup.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I'm glad you brought that up, brother. Thanks for remembering that.
Yeah.
Um, let's get into NFL, man. The two big topics, like I mentioned on the pregame at the beginning. Davante Adams and Amari Cooper. So I watched the, you know, Monday Night Football game, and Well, at least I watched the first quarter and early second, and it was a good game. Both teams played well. Of course, Jets came up a little bit short, but it was a pretty good game. Final score 23-20. Um, but right after the game's over, the next day we find out Davante Adams is going there. So what do you got on that, man? That should help out the Jets offense.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's hooked up back with his old quarterback buddy. They're best friends, so he's looking for that Aaron Rodgers connection, somebody to throw the ball to that he knows well. I think that's definitely going to help with their offense. I still think the struggle is going to continue in New York with the Jets until they can get their stuff together. Um, as far as Amari Cooper, the Bills, I think that's going to help Josh Allen out a lot. Amari
Yeah.
Cooper is not the same Amari Cooper that he was years ago. Age is catching up to him. I don't know if it's just not having the quarterback that he likes or wants or whatever that may be with Deshaun Watson that he had in Cleveland. So maybe Josh Allen's the answer for him in Buffalo. I'm not sure, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Davante Adams getting back with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got him started, got Davante Adams off into a great start in his career. That's why he had the big trade to, the Raiders, because how well he played with Aaron Rodgers, being a top receiver in the league, and, for 4 or 5 years in a row, putting up big numbers with Aaron Rodgers. And then he gets to the Raiders these past couple of years, and nothing happened like the way they thought it would, and he wants out. I understand. I haven't seen his Netflix show, but I know he was on the last Netflix, because the first Netflix was the quarterbacks, then the second Netflix was with the receivers. I haven't seen that yet. I heard it's really good. I know Davante Adams is one of the receivers are showing, but I know he was really frustrated with Garoppolo there.
Yeah,
One game I
I've,
think he
wa-
didn't even get targeted or something.
I've
Uh,
watched a little bit of that show. I think I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes of it. It's pretty good. It follows Davante Adams, Jordan Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown,
I think
or
the
not
tight
Jordan,
end for San Francisco,
and George Kittle. Yeah,
George Kittle. Yeah,
yeah. I think that's it. I think. I don't remember.
yeah. I
It's been
think
a
you're
while
right.
since
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen it yet, but I heard it's good. But I just heard about the frustration he had with, obviously he showed it during some of the things that was in the games, but then this show highlights it a lot too. I heard. So,
it. Yeah. It also showed a lot of the disgruntled Davante Adams with Josh Daniels too. You know.
mm, yeah, he was Josh Allen was an idiot coach. I don't think he's a very good coach. So,
Yeah.
but I
No,
don't
he's
think Davante
proven that
Adams is
twice.
innocent. I don't think Davante Adams is innocent though. Um, Obviously, I hope him going back to New York Jets is kind of like the grass is greener on the side. Hey, you got a fresh start. Move on from the bad past couple of years kind of thing. To start fresh. But the only thing I worry about with him though is, are you kind of becoming like you know, a cancer to your team because you're always just pissed off and you're like just growing all the damn time, because receivers kind of have that mantra a little bit. Like Terrell T.O. had
Yeah.
it, Terrell Owens had it, other guys have had it. Very good receivers
Stephon
in their own
Diggs.
right. Antonio Brown had it, and now he's not even playing football anymore the past like 3 years. He was great with Pittsburgh, then he just like got crazy all of a sudden. Like his first several years there, I didn't hear a peep of him. All of a sudden, like the last couple years in the league, he was just out of control. But
I think that has a lot to do with CTE.
yeah, probably. Yeah, concussions. You have to right, brother. Because his head's not right. I won't argue that, man.
Yep.
Um, but I wonder about Davante Adams. I like him. I'm definitely gonna give him a chance because I don't want to judge him because I don't want to be judged myself. But we'll see. Because last couple of years he looks like a disgruntled guy and it looks like he could be a problem for the locker room. I hope this change does him some good, so he's not that. So he doesn't become a TO or some of these other
Right.
guys that people talk about. I like TO. He's a great receiver, but he definitely had his ups and downs, and he played with a lot of teams. His heyday was with the San Francisco 49ers, and he came to the Cowboys towards
Yep.
the latter part of his career, and he bounced around a little bit at the end.
He did.
But as far as Amari Cooper, I never heard about him being a catcher though. Like I said, he's just his heyday was with the Dallas Cowboys though, with Dak Prescott. Yeah,
Yeah. No, Amari Cooper's always been that quiet guy that just goes out, plays ball, and shuts his mouth.
I love that. More guys probably need to be like that. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting frustrated from time to time. We're all human, and these guys are competitive. But there's a difference between being frustrated after a game and just keeping it up all season long, all game long, just being a pain in the ass, you know. So yeah, there's a difference between frustration here and there, and just all the time in your
Yep.
face, always complaining, just being difficult, you know. But hopefully, I like the trades though. All right, let's talk about the Cowboys just getting completely dismantled at home. 0-3 at home this season. The first drive of the game, they sell for a field goal. I'm okay with that. Could have been a touchdown. Dak Prescott almost threw an effing interception, but there was a penalty. So they did the field goal. Detroit just scores right away on their first drive, 7-3. I'm like, okay, Dallas just needs to. I thought this could be a high scoring game on both sides, is what I'm saying. Like, I thought this could be a shootout. I didn't think it was going to be no 49-9 game or 47-9, whatever the hell it was.
47-9.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a 34-31 kind of game, like it's going to come down to which team has the ball at the end. But you know, Dallas's offense just couldn't do that to keep on keeping up. Dallas's second drive, they look good again, going all the way down the field. Dak Prescott throws an interception,
Yeah.
trying to hit CeeDee Lamb in the end zone. I love Dak. I've always stuck up for Dak, but I don't think it's all Dak's fault about the whole entire game, but that was definitely Dak's fault on that play, though. The whole entire game is his fault? No, but that play was absolutely his fault. And he did the same. He did something similar in Pittsburgh last week. Just not throwing the ball to the back pylon. He's throwing these balls short so defensive backs can pick him off. Like, he's not making the right read, man. Like,
Yep.
he's got red zone issues all over the place. And they had red zone issues the past couple of years, but he wasn't throwing interceptions. They were just settling for a lot of field goals. This year it's turning into interceptions. Last year it was all field goals. Field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, touchdown every now and then. Outside the red zone, they have like a big play like the Lamb or Turpin or somebody, but they weren't scoring much inside the red zone. It's always outside the red zone. You know, Dallas has got a lot of problems, man. If they make the playoffs, obviously their season isn't over. They're 3-3, so it's not like they're 0-6, so they're still in the mix. But if they make the playoffs, I'll be surprised. Even if they do, they'll be out quick, like they have been the past damn near 30 years. It'll be so fast.
Yeah,
So
they're not making the playoffs, man. Let's be honest.
I
They're gonna
doubt
get
it.
run
Yeah, they're
over
probably
in
gonna be
the
like
East
seven
by the
and ten.
Commanders.
I
Yeah,
predict them to be 7-10 by the end of the season. 7-10. And then old
I
boy
can
would get
go. I can see
fired.
7-10.
Huh?
I can see 7-10, and then old coach is gone, and I'd be surprised if Dak's not on the trade market.
Yeah. Here, but me and Monty keep on talking about this since we're Cowboys fans. Like, his stats his stats are really good when you put him up against Hall of Fame kind of quarterbacks. Like, his touchdown interception ratio is really good throughout his whole entire career, but it's just the way it looks. Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, he
Yeah,
he has like he's thrown like 3 or 4 more touchdown passes compared to interceptions throughout his whole entire career, but it's just like the last like 3 or 4 years is getting like worse. Like, his first like 4 or 5 years he was okay, and we're kind of like, when's Dak gonna do it? When's Dak gonna do it? He gets off to a great start his first like 2 or 3 years, and like, okay, when's Dak gonna make that playoff run and make that playoff push? And he just hasn't been able to do that after he got to such a good start in his career. So it sounds like it's like the last 3 or 4 years he's just kind of hit a wall, and he hasn't been able to get past this wall, and that's what I've noticed. And but like me and Monty said, though, what do you do though if we get another? He's still a better than average quarterback, honestly, probably. And the grass may not be greener on the other side, is what I'm saying. You might, if you're bringing a rookie quarterback, they may not all be like your boy CJ Stroud. He's just on fire rookie year. That usually doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't
It usually
happen.
takes
But
them a
Jaden
couple of years.
Daniels is showing that this year, though.
He
So
is
we'll
too.
see.
That's two in a row, but usually it takes them a little while to go, and usually you're not even starting right away. But if you are starting, we've seen other like rookie quarterbacks struggle where it took them like 3 or 4 years to get going. Like like T. Lawrence struggled for a couple of years, and he did, but he's done better the last couple of years. A lot of guys. Who was the old Kansas City quarterback before Mahomes got that struggled his first couple of years, then he ended up doing better. He's retired now, but you know what I'm talking about.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. He was like a #1 pick, I think, over Aaron Rodgers. And
Yep.
Overall, I thought he had a pretty decent career. Not like an Aaron Rodgers kind of career, but he made it to the playoffs multiple times with KC, and
Yeah, he did.
he did a decent job. And but he got off to a really bad start his first 3 or 4 years, and they were riding him off.
Yep.
So who will we get though? If you're saying Dak Prescott's going to be gone, who should we get? Who should we get, brother?
Oh man, I have no idea. I just I don't think Jerry Jones is going to keep all this negativity around. I mean,
I agree with that.
and I
I think
say
the coach definitely needs to be gone. I don't know about Prescott, but I think McCarthy definitely is out. Out. Yeah.
for sure, and I think they need to find somebody that can run the ball and build up the O line.
Yes, we definitely need a running game. That's all of their
Because
faults. That's Jared Jones' fault. That's all their damn faults. The whole damn front
100%.
office. So I knew that during the draft, like we effed up really bad. I was so pissed after the draft. So yeah, I'm still pissed about it because I was talking. We had the draft show about that. I was like, man, Dallas really screwed up this draft bad. So and it's showing right now. So I don't know who they get though, brother. I don't know who they get. They could get a great hot rookie, like one of these guys come out of college. Like who are the couple of college core? I mean, Ewers is doing good.
Ewers is doing good. Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon.
Yep.
Trying to think who else is gonna come out this year. I don't know any of
Milrow
the
maybe out of Alabama.
maybe. I don't see the Cowboys taking it.
Georgia quarterback is pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, but there is 3 or 4 pretty hot commodity quarterbacks right now. We're probably forgetting a couple also that we can't think
Oh,
of.
I'm sure.
But there's some guys out there. Those 3 or 4 we mentioned are all pretty good though. But can they be better than Dak Prescott? That's what I'm saying. But we're talking about Dak.
Right.
We're talking about Dak way too much. Let's talk about poor Aidan Hutchinson, man. You never
Oh
want to
man.
see a guy get hurt like that, but especially like in a blowout game when a game's absolutely over with. Not saying it's the coach's fault at all because it's still like what, third quarter?
Yeah, it was early third quarter.
Very early third quarter. So of course he's still playing because I didn't think the Cowboys could still come back. The game technically wasn't completely out of balance yet. I mean, they're definitely had a nice, good lead, but most starters do play still early in the third quarter. Is what I'm saying. Even in blowout games, they usually don't take them out to like late in the third, early in the fourth.
I mean, in the NFL, the starters play the whole game typically,
Yeah,
regardless of the school.
yeah. It's usually like high school and college where they start taking them. Definitely high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
But
was disgusting. I didn't see it, but man, when I came back, I went to the bathroom or something was gone for like just a couple of minutes. I came back. I didn't see it live, but man, I saw the stretchers out. I see everyone on the field praying for him, and I knew it was bad. Disgusting, man.
yeah, I saw it in real time. It was not pretty. Um, and there's a reason they didn't show the replay on TV. It
Yes,
was like his leg wrapped around the other dude's leg, and it you can tell that it just snapped, and it was gruesome and disgusting.
yes. Like it looked like a rubber band. It looked like just Jello. What do you want to saw?
Yep.
Like yeah, rubber man. Um, yeah, that's sad. I just pray for Aiden Hutchinson to have a good recovery and hopefully he can come back maybe middle season next year, or he definitely come back this year. We know that he's out at least a year.
Yeah,
He
no,
might
he's not coming back this year.
he definitely ain't coming back this year. That's no brainer. But he might be able to come back middle of the season next year, like a year later. Like he won't. I don't think he'll be starting in game one next year.
I don't know. I mean, anything's
I mean, we
possible with
don't
the
know.
medical
Anything can happen,
technology
but
nowadays.
I think it's more going to be towards like October him coming back if I had or late September. Um, he has to heal right too, man. Like he has to have a good recovery because you know, because hopefully he comes back and he's the same kind of player. Which I think the good news is that he's young.
Yeah,
He's in his third or fourth year,
I
so
think this is his second or third
no,
year.
this is more than a second. This is either his third or fourth. First year they sucked. Second year they're better. Last
This
year they
might
didn't
be his
play out.
third year.
I think it's his third year, yeah. So, but I just hope he's okay and he recovers, because man, he's a good player. I mean, he's the heart and
Yeah.
soul of Detroit's team. Definitely their defense. I mean,
Oh, definitely their defense. Yeah.
he's their leader, man.
Yep.
I still think the Cowboys will turn around at home though, but we'll see. I didn't see the final score of the game, but this Thursday night football recap was absolutely horrible. Broncos and Saints. Oh my God, man. That game's ugly, man. It was 26-3 before we started the show. I don't know what the score is now, but it's probably not any.
As we speak right now, it's 33-3 with a minute 25 left of the game.
Okay. So I'm glad we started the show because we're not missing anything.
Not at all.
Yeah, that game was just like Bo Nix is playing better. He did miss a couple wide open passes, but for the most part, he's playing pretty good. Definitely run the ball really well. He's kind of coming into his own. Got to a
Yep.
slow start the first 2 or 3 games of the year, but like now the Broncos are going to be on a 4-game winning streak. Um, they're looking like a legit team. Their defense is definitely legit, but their offense is getting better and better every week. Their running game was really good this game. I don't think the Saints rookie played bad. They got the old Oklahoma quarterback that transferred to South Carolina. He did not look bad. His receivers are dropping balls from what I saw, and their
Yeah,
defense
Spencer
can't
Rattler.
stop
Yeah.
anything today. And the
Yep.
Saints are just decimated on offense. No starting wide receivers. No Taysom Hill. I mean, they have everyone's out for the Saints. I mean, so they got major injuries, but that rookie does not look bad. He didn't play bad from what I saw. Is just no one's helping him out.
Yeah, no, he's not playing bad at all. I think these reps he's getting in, New Orleans just scored. It's 33-10. Um, I think these reps that he's getting in right now is going to help his development a lot, and then sitting behind Derek Carr is definitely going to help his growth.
I agree.
So
I
I
agree.
foresee him being decent in the future. Right now, no, but he didn't look terrible in the game.
He did not. His first half stats, he was like 10 out of 14 for like 90 yards, so it wasn't bad. I think
Yeah,
Bo Nix was like 13 out of 21 for like 130 something. So he was a little bit better, but Bo Nix had the ball a lot more than he did. They completely controlled the clock in the first half. It was 16-3 at halftime, so they were already pretty much in control. I mean, the game wasn't
yeah,
over, but we knew New Orleans had to get off to a good start in the second half, and they went 3-and-out in their first possession. So yeah, it then got worse to where it is now. So, but I think that New Orleans quarterback. Before we get on to some picks here, I think he's been through a lot in college, which has helped him grow. He's been through a lot of adversity. He had a really good freshman year at Oklahoma. His second year, you know, he was 6-0, but his play was kind of inconsistent, and they were just like booing him at Oklahoma, even though they were 6-0. And of course, Caleb Williams was really starting to emerge, and then obviously Caleb Williams was #1 pick in the draft here, so Caleb Williams probably was, I guess, the better quarterback. But what I'm saying is, though, he did not do bad, but his second year wasn't quite as good as his freshman year, But he wasn't horrible
yeah.
being 6-0, though. I mean,
No,
like,
he was the front runner for the Heisman that year. I
yeah,
think, in my opinion, yes, he was 6-0, but I think the pressure got to him.
yeah,
Um,
good point.
and that was Caleb Williams' freshman year. He was the #1 pick or #1 high school recruit coming out
Yep.
of high school, and, and Oklahoma fans wanted Caleb Williams, especially when Spencer Rattler started to go down. I think the fans just added to that pressure that they put on him, or that
Hmm.
the Heisman race put on him, and from there, and then he went on to South Carolina and he shined.
He did. I was
He
happy for him
played
about that.
great football.
He reemerged South Carolina because South Carolina was in the tank for a while, and he got them more respectable, where they're winning some games, they're not just getting blown out. Like they made it to a bowl game, yeah. So he got him to a bowl game. Yeah, he played good there. I kind of like his story, so I kind of hope he is successful in NFL. I mean, he's been through a lot, but can you imagine being like, 20 years old and you're getting effing booed at home by a bunch of grown ass men like us that can't play any better, like,
Yep.
and they're
No,
booing
I
him.
can't
Like,
imagine that, but yeah,
I
I know
mean,
what you're
like,
saying.
dude, like we're living vicariously through these guys, and you're booing this guy. Like, we just have our high school stats. That's it. Like these guys are a lot better than us. So, I mean, I'll say something a little bit, here and there. We're all human. Like, I'm not saying I haven't made some comments every now and then. We all do, but there's a difference between making comments every now and then and just being complete, jackasses and booing a 20-year-old kid, and like, come on, man, like that's uncalled for, man. Like, he's like
Yeah.
19, these guys are 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're freaking booing these guys, like, and we definitely are not any better, not even.
No, definitely not any better. And I couldn't imagine booing a kid, that's 19, 20 years old. And then I can't even imagine the pressure that that puts on that kid.
Yeah.
You're right. We do live vicariously through them because we wish we could be in the spots that they were in when we were their age. But obviously, none of us were good enough to do that. That's why we wear stripes now. So,
That's right. Yeah. Hey, but we still support the game, man. We still support
oh,
the
100%.
And they need us. Without officials, there is no game. So hey, remember that, man.
That's true.
But yeah, but me and you have a lot better attitudes though, and honestly, most officials do, because we respect the game, and you know even at my son's soccer games, yeah, I would say something, but like I said, not to the point where I never say anything to the kids. I yelled at the refs sometimes, but I didn't say anything that was gonna get me kicked out. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I was never like
Yep.
I was never vulgar or violent or like where they're looking back at me like, like you're like cruising for a bruise. I never said anything like that. It was just a comment, like I said, a comment here and there. I think my
No,
biggest comment was like
I
offside,
get out of control. I
huh?
get out of control sometimes when it comes to basketball with my son. Like
Yeah.
especially some of these rec league games that they're doing. Like the
Yeah, you're
refs do
saying
their
it's pretty
thing.
bad. Yeah, hopefully I'm
Yeah.
better. I got my first basketball games on Monday, so I'm hope I'm an improvement, brother.
Good luck.
But I did play basketball, so that helps. But being an official and being a player is two different things. So, but I should be okay since I have some experience playing. But at my son's soccer games, before we get into these picks, when he was just a little guy, I didn't say anything to anybody. But I think where I got a little more aggressive is when he got into probably like with your son when he got into high school. Like his games started really ramping up, and they started playing. They just got the games were just way more intense compared to like when he was like sixth or seventh grade compared to him being in high school. Like it picked up a level, and you know especially when he was playing club soccer. High school soccer, not so much because the club level soccer is way bigger than high school soccer in Washington State for the most part. The club soccer is where it's at. So, because
Yeah, but
the
also
parents are paying a lot of money for their kids to play club soccer. I mean, a lot of money. So it's
yeah,
very competitive. In high school, it's pretty much free. It's like, you just pay for the jersey. The school gives you your uniforms for crying out loud.
yep.
So, yeah. So,
Now my
uh,
son plays club basketball. I get it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it started picking up when he got older. Is what I'm saying, man. It started picking up, and it got me kind of more intense, also.
Yeah.
So, um, let's talk about some picks, though. I know they're tired of hearing about our sons. Pat's at Jags, man. Jags laid an egg in London, bro. That's London's team. What the hell, man?
They
I picked
did.
them to win, and Chicago looked good last week. Caleb Williams is starting to play some good ball too, man.
Yeah. And I tell you what, man, look out for Drake May in this game. That first half against Houston, he didn't look that great. And then all of a sudden in the second half, he picked it up and was completing some decent looking passes, running the ball down the field. Watch out for New England in this one. I'm going to take New England on this one.
Um, I will too, because Jags are just, it's not the Jags year, and we'll see what Drake May can do. obviously it is at the Jags, so but Jags just. I thought when they got that one win, they would kind of get the thing. I thought they would kind of get things going and kind of get on a streak here because Trevor Lawrence and company have been pretty good, past 2 or 3 years, and then they look like the old Jags now.
Yeah, they do.
And ETN is doing nothing in the running game, and he's important. They have to get him going, man. That'll be
Yeah,
one
I
thing
think
to
we
help
talked
them
about that
out,
last week.
huh?
So I think we talked about that last week that they
Yeah,
need to get their run game going.
and they
But
haven't. That's why they're
no,
struggling. But I'll take the Pats too. I kind of want to see what Drake May can do. I got the Pats.
I think that's a game in London again.
Oh, these are 2 weeks in a row. They just never
Yeah,
left. Yep, that is the other London game. Good call. Jags, man, you lose 2 in a row in front of your fans. They love the Jags, man. But then
yeah, they do.
Lions at Vikings, man. That's a good one. Vikings are still undefeated. But Lions, obviously, we just talked about Aidan Hutchinson being hurt, man. But Lions
Yeah,
still got a really good offense. Vikings are good this year. Oh boy, Sam Darnold having a resurgence in his career, like I said multiple times on the show. Who do you got in this one? That's a good one. It's at Minnesota though.
at Minnesota. Man, I don't know. I think Detroit's going to come off a high from last week against Dallas. Uh, that's a tough one, man. I
That's
think that's
hard,
going to be
yeah.
that's
Can
going
the
to come
Vikings stay
down to the
undefeated?
wire.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah, like Sam Darnold's playing some damn good football. That defense has been lights out.
I think their
Shoot,
running
man.
back is coming back, but he's still like questionable because I have him on my fantasy. The old Green Bay running back
Yeah,
Aaron Jones. I think
Aaron
he's
Jones.
I think he's gonna be back, but they still haven't listed him yet. He's still questionable, but if he comes back, that'll help. So
Yeah, and Detroit got that two-headed monster in the backfield. You know, man, you know what? I'm going to take Detroit just off a gut feeling for no particular reason.
yeah, um, I think I will too. Not just to side with you, but I'm kind of leaning with you because I don't think the Vikings. Because I'm just wondering how long the Vikings can stay undefeated. I think at some point they're going to lose, and the Lions are a really good team. Yes, they are coming off a high against this beating the crap out of Dallas, so they might come out flat in this game because of that. But they still got Jared Goff is playing great in Detroit.
Yep.
His career resurrected in Detroit. They got very good running backs in Montgomery and the other dude from Alabama. They're a good 1-2 punch at running back. They got Amon St. Brown. They got Laporta. They got this other wide receiver now, Williams, on the deep routes. He was hurt a lot last year, but he's back this year. But when he's healthy, man, they're a different team, man, because he can go deep, man. He's completely changed their offense. Detroit's defense hasn't been great all year except for against Dallas. They were lights out, but they kind of been. But the defense
Yeah.
hasn't been great. The Dallas game was obviously their best game by far, but they've given up some points. Seahawks scored a lot of points on them.
Yeah,
Other
I think the biggest concern for Detroit is going to be that defense, especially with the heart of that
Yeah,
defense out.
yeah. But I still got the Lions, but it's gonna be a squeaker, man. I think it's gonna be. Hopefully that's a good. Hopefully the game is as good as advertised. Um,
Yep.
Titans at Bills, man.
I'm taking Buffalo
But that's the
Bills.
easy one. That's one of the easy ones. With Amari
Yeah.
Cooper, it should be interesting. Hopefully Amari Cooper has a really good opening debut.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope so.
I hope so too because I like Cooper, man. Um, the Cowboys are just dumb enough not to get him back, but that's the Cowboys. They didn't get any of these guys, So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, typical Cowboys. Um, Dolphins at Colts. I get.
I'm going to take the Colts. Joe Flacco, the way he's been playing, old man Joe's still flinging the ball down the field, and he's kind of giving some life to that offense. I'm gonna take Indy on this one.
I'll take Indy too. I know Dolphins brought in some Tyrone Huntley. I think we said last week the journeyman quarterback.
Yeah,
He's okay. He's made them a little bit better, but Flacco's better than that guy. I agree. Colts got this game. Dolphins are
yeah.
struggling so bad with Tua hurt, and yeah, Colts all the way. Here's another good one. Seahawks at Falcons.
That's another one where Kirk Cousins has found. I think he found his team. They've been playing some damn good football, um, and Seattle just hasn't. Like the last 2 weeks, I think we picked them last week to beat the
Yeah, they
Niners, and
lost
then
two
they
games in a row at
didn't.
home. Like they're kind
Yeah,
of they're not obviously they didn't play as bad as Dallas. They're getting whooped. They were in the
yeah,
game, but I mean, I didn't suspect them to lose 2 games in a row at home. Usually they're pretty solid there.
yep. I'm gonna go with Atlanta at home on this one because, well, I don't see Seattle getting any better than they already have been,
No, they start off the season 3-0.
and they've lost three straight.
Now they lost 3 straight, possibly four. Um, don't want to take anything away from the Seahawks, but all 3 teams they played at the beginning of the season were not solid teams. I mean, Bo Nix and Denver's playing a lot better now. They played
Yeah,
Denver in week 1, played a depleted Miami Dolphins team in week 3. Week 2, they went to New England. The New England's first home game. New England played good. That game went to overtime because they were playing well in that game. That was a good game,
yep,
but they weren't caliber teams, and against all the caliber teams they've been losing against. But give Seahawks credit, even though I'm not a Seahawks fan, they won the games they're supposed to win. Put it that way, they were supposed to be. They should be 3-0 against those teams, and then they were. But now they're losing, and I just hope Kirk Cousins and them can keep it up, man. But yeah, I got the Falcons too. I just don't want him to lay an egg and start getting kind of middle of the season. They start kind of like dropping some games, and now they're questioning him again. But it
right.
looks like he found a home. I hope it stays that way. Um,
Yep.
okay, your team, Texans at the Packers.
I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah,
It's hard to go into Lambeau and win. Um, I'm not sure if Nico Collins is coming back this week or not,
no,
but
he left the game, man, in the
obviously,
first quarter.
no, he left not this. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right. It was. He sat the
So
last game.
yeah, I don't know if he's coming back this week, but obviously not a huge deal because we had, Tank Dell came in after having, I think,
Yeah, he's on
three
my
catches.
fantasy. He's big for me right now. Yeah, especially
Yeah,
with them out. Yeah,
yeah, that Stroud to Dell connection was there last week that we haven't seen in a while because Nico's been the number one, Stephon Diggs has been the
yeah.
number two. I got to go with my Texans, but I know it's going to be a close game.
Um, I would like to see Texans win just being in Texas, but I'll go against you this one. I think Jordan Love got in his rhythm last week. It is hard to win in Lambeau. Jordan Love definitely had his best game of the year last week, 4 touchdown passes. Um, because he was kind of like rusty coming back the first couple of weeks, but it looks like his second or third game back, he played a lot. He played like a Jordan Love of last year, especially in the second half of the season and against the Cowboys in the playoffs where he was lights out. He looked like that. So we'll see if that continues. But Texans do have a very good defense. I think it's going to be a very good game. Put it this way, I won't be upset if the Texans win, but
Yep.
I'll pick the Packers at home because Lambeau is a hard place to play. But it should be a good one. Um, this game looked like it could have been good on paper before the season started, but Bengals at Browns.
Yeah, you're right. They've been two surprising teams and not in a good way.
Yeah, Bengals did
I'm
win
pretty.
last on Sunday night, but the game was ugly as all get out against the
They
Giants.
did, and it was really ugly. I still think Joe Burrow is not fully healed from his injury, from his wrist injury last year.
Right.
Um, and Cleveland just got rid of Amari Cooper. I think their offense is going to
Their
has
offense has already
obviously
been bad. It's going
downgraded.
to get worse. Yeah.
Yep. The defense in Cleveland is still good, but I don't
Yep.
think it can overcome any struggles with their offense. If your offense can't score, you can't win games. So
Yeah,
for
I
that,
agree. Your
I'm gonna
defense
take
can only do so
Cincinnati.
much. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And the Bengals still got two very good receivers, Higgins
Oh yeah.
and oh my God, the dude on the other side, one of the best guys in football. Who I'm
Jamar
talking
Chase.
to. Chase, Jamar Chase. Oh my God, LSU wide receiver university. I
Yep.
mean, he's still got some targets, man. Burrow may not be 100%, but he's got some targets. So I got the Bengals, yeah, winning this one. NFC East matchup, Eagles at Giants. Giants look a little bit better, but oh boy, he's playing better. He didn't play bad. The quarterback for Giants, he didn't look bad at all last week. They just seem to can't not be able to get it going all the way though. But he played okay.
Yeah, he's been playing all right. It's decent. I mean, they run the ball a little bit. They can move the ball down the field, and they're putting up points and winning games. Um, I'm gonna take. I haven't seen much of Philly at all. Honestly, I haven't seen any of their games this year.
They've been
They're
up and down. They won last week, but well, Anthony Brown is back, which helps out Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts always has good games, but the problem is he fumbles a lot. He's been fumbling
Yeah,
like crazy. But last week was the first game I think in a while where he finally didn't fumble the damn ball. So
yeah,
he's good though, but man, his problem is turnovers with fumbling.
yeah. I'm still gonna take Philly on this one because I still don't believe in the Giants right now. I
It's
still
hard
don't
to believe
believe
in
in
the
Daniel
Giants unless you're
Jones.
a G man,
Yeah,
unless you're a Giants fan, man. I
right.
agree. I hate the Eagles. I would like to. I want to see the Giants win because this helps the Cowboys out. You know, to try to stay in playoff contention. I don't think it's going to happen, but this will help out the Cowboys if the Giants win. But um, the Giants have played the Eagles tough the past couple of years. I think they upset them once last year. They split, I believe, last year or the year before. God, I want to see the Giants win. I'm gonna pick an upset here. The Eagles probably win, but I'm picking somehow. I hope they finally figure crap out. I hope old boy for Eagles keeps on putting the ball on the ground. But the problem is Brown's back though. But hopefully the Giants can pull off an upset in the Meadowlands. But I'm probably wrong. Picking with my heart here. Um, Raiders at Rams.
That's gonna be a garbage game.
Yep,
Um,
agreed. Agreed.
I'm
I
just
like
gonna.
Stafford though, but man, he's
I
just
like Stafford too. I think Vegas. You know, I'm just gonna take Vegas on this one just because it's Vegas, not because they're the Raiders, not because they're playing the Rams. It's just because it's Vegas and I like Vegas.
um, all the receivers for the Rams are still out, right? No one's come back. Cooper Cup's not back.
Yeah,
I know Nakua had the bigger injury than Cup did.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick the Raiders for that fact alone too. I mean, they're both struggling, but I'll pick the Raiders. Panthers at Commanders.
Commanders all day.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Commanders will bounce back from their loss. They're 4-2
yeah,
in first
and
place.
it was
They'll bounce back.
they played a damn good team and they lost, which we both
And they played
picked them
well.
to
It was a good
lose. Yeah,
game.
it was a great
30-23
game.
against
Yeah,
Baltimore. That was yeah, Jalen looked good in that game. I mean,
yep,
yeah, he didn't play bad at all. Like his rookie campaign is still going to continue. Hands down, rookie of the year so far. I think he's going to. I think he's going to continue to roll. I got Commanders in this one.
yep.
Um, Here's a good one. Chiefs at 49ers.
Uh, yeah. I mean, San Francisco looked good last week against Seattle, but Geno Smith is no Patrick Mahomes.
No,
Uh, so I'm gonna take Kansas City as long as Mahomes is back there behind the center.
yeah. Um, they're also the other undefeated team, right? Besides Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
It's those two, right?
yeah, they're 5-0 as well.
Um, yeah, I agree. 49ers still got a lot of injuries. Some guys did come back. I like Brock Purdy, Mr. Relevant. Debo Samuel's obviously a beast. Of course, the tight end Kittle. I mean, Jennings has really emerged since their number two guy, whoever, hasn't really done anything yet. But
Yeah,
Jennings has kind of taken over his place. I mean, they still have a lot of weapons, but it is in San Francisco, which helps. But I agree. The Chiefs are just good this year. Really, the past couple of years of just winning these narrow games. Like they don't play like perfect, but they still win these games somehow.
they
So,
squeak out ugly wins.
yep. And this will probably continue. There probably will
Yeah,
be 6-0. So I got the Chiefs also. Sunday night football game. Speaking of the big trade, Jets at the Steelers. This should be a good one for
I'm going
Sunday
to go
night
with the upset
football.
on this one. I'm going to take the Jets over the Steelers. I think Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers hook up for at least a touchdown, maybe two. Um,
And he's still got
and
Garrett Wilson. He's got Brees Hall had a good game.
Brees Hall, yep,
All the Jets offensive players had really good games on Monday night, and they just lost in a good game. That was a good game Monday night. They just came up a little bit
yep,
short. I heard Aaron Rodgers threw a pick at the end. I didn't see the second half. I heard he threw a pick at the end, but he had a good
he
game
did.
overall besides that. I'm not sure if
And then
that
he
was
threw
his
another Hail
fault.
Mary at the end of the second
Oh, it was a
quarter,
Hail
which,
Mary. Okay, so it wasn't
yeah.
really a
No,
mistake. A
the
mistake.
second quarter, at the end of the half, the first half, he threw a Hail Mary into the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh,
Typical Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, that's the stat I saw. Only Aaron Rodgers can do that. That's what they're saying. Okay,
Yeah,
that was it. I missed that with being with my son. Okay, but no, I expect the Jets to bounce back too. Steelers don't have a great offense. They're average at best. But Russell Wilson is starting this game, so that's interesting. Even though, oh boy, Chicago Bears,
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields got them four. They're 4-2 with him, which isn't bad. But they are saying Russell Wilson is ready to play, so they're going to give him a crack at it. So that's going to be interesting. But I got the Jets winning because I don't think Russell Wilson is the same Russell Wilson he was in Seattle 3 or 4 years
Oh
ago.
no, not even close.
It showed in Denver, and I think, and the sad thing is, I really like Russell Wilson because he's a great role model for just people in general, especially the NFL, with some knuckleheads being in the NFL a little bit. And he's not one of them, so that's
Yeah,
good. I like him for that reason alone. But I think Seattle knew what they're doing. They got rid of him. So yeah, I think the Jets will bounce back. They're not out of playoffs yet. They're 2-4, but if they can make a little bit of a run here, they could get right back in
yeah,
contention. And like so, they played good last week. So it's just unfortunate they lost.
yeah. The AFC East is wide open right now.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, the only team I think with a winning record is the Bills.
yeah, exactly. So they could still get in. Yep. There's two Monday night games. The first one is a lot more intriguing compared to the second one. The first one is Ravens at Bucks. This could be a good one.
Yeah, that could be a really good one. Baker Mayfield is playing some good football, and then Lamar Jackson, and both of them have really good defenses. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be a low scoring good game, I think.
Yes.
Um, I'm going to take Baltimore though.
Uh Yeah, Ravens have won what 3 or 4 in a row. Their streak probably continues. I think Baker Mayfield is playing better, but yeah, the Ravens are just on the streak right now, and it probably continues. But I want the Bucks to win because I'm not a Baltimore fan at all. I'm not really big on East Coast teams in general, so I would like to see the Bucks to win. But Baltimore probably does win this game. They can run. They got Derrick Henry. They got Lamar Jackson. They got weapons all over the place. Yeah, Baltimore. Chargers at Cardinals, the least sexy one. The second Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, Chargers at Cardinals. I mean, Chargers look okay. You know, I'm going to take the Chargers on this one just for the sole fact that I like Jim Harbaugh.
uh, yeah, Cardinals are very up and down this year. They got beat pretty good at playing Green Bay in Green Bay at Lambeau, like we were saying, a hard place to win. Quarterback looked good though. His stats are good because he's one of my fantasy quarterbacks. His stats were good, but unfortunately, the rest of the team didn't do good. He did okay, but
Yeah,
they're definitely better with Kyle Murray being in the lap compared to him being out. But yeah, but I got the Chargers in this one too. So I think me and you only had two different picks, but
yeah,
but yeah, I got the Chargers. Chargers definitely playing a little bit better. They're not lights out, but they're just kind of okay, like you said. But they'll win. Though I think they'll win this one, man. So That's it for the picks, man. I see how. Well, I guess we'll see how we do next week, man.
Yeah.
How this came out. But hey, man, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being on the show, Jay. Another good job, brother.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we got to get the whole crew here, man. Me, you, Jim, Monty, maybe even Brandon. 5, at least 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
Monty should be back soon. He's just been really busy lately. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now, but he should be back. And
I get it. Life's busy.
yeah, life keeps you busy, man. So, but uh, but yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let us know your picks. Let us know who your teams are, and let us know if you disagree or disagree with us. And we don't care either way, whether you do or don't. Leave comments. We could take it. Trust me, we're officials, so we hear things all the time. So
After my game last week, I can hear anything and it won't bother me.
oh yes, we had to say that. Hey, so all of the sports fans out there, his video came up on training. Absolutely loved it. Completely gangster. Um, so what my friend here, Jay, did, the coach, we won't mention teams, but the coach of his sideline, the head coach, that gets the first unsportsman's like penalty. But the reason why he got it was because it wasn't on Jay's side of the field, but there was a questionable no call on it looked like a defensive pass interference where the defensive back may have gotten there a little bit early, and it wasn't called. And which happened to any of us. It was kind of bang bang. It looked like it was really watching on video, but watching on video is a lot different than live. So he looked early. Coach on your sideline like lost his shit. What did you say? We got to play. What did you say? We have to play both you guys.
He said we can't. He said we can't play them and you guys too.
So boom, that's definitely warrants unsportsmanlike. So he throws his first flag up in here. That's not the funny part, but that's the first flag. So I guess you guys are talking about what happened. Then the second flag comes out. So describe that.
So
That's
I'm
what this
going out
was
to
funny. So
I'm going out to the side. I'm going out to the middle of the field to report it to the white hat. Like, hey, I've got unsportsmanlike on the head coach. Well, as I'm walking out, I hear from my left ear, an assistant coach goes, "Yeah, that's all you can do is throw a flag on us, but you guys can't throw a flag on anything else. So go ahead and throw your little yellow hanky or something of that extent." And it just already heightened emotions in that I just turned around and threw the flag at him.
yeah, that's what was funny, people, because we usually don't throw flags directly at officials, but Jay Jay just turns around and like throws it like towards his direct, not right at him, but towards his direction. We're supposed to throw it up in the
Straight
air
up.
so everyone could see it. But we loved it though because we thought it was so funny. We're watching this on video at our training a couple days ago, and we were just like, "Dude, that was so awesome, man!" Because that coach deserved it, man.
Yeah, he
Even though
did.
we're not supposed to do that, like that was so funny, man. I was like, I think one of the guys, I think Tamar said he's going to buy you a beer or something. So even though it wasn't the right thing to do, he's like, that was so sexy. I think that's what he said. That was so sexy. That was so badass, Jim. I mean, Jay, like that was so. Oh my God. I just thought it was gangster. I'm gonna start calling you OG, man. So yeah, I loved it, man. I saw that. I just got a kick out of it. I was like, dude,
It's just the emotions of the game. Sometimes you just do things. And to clear it up, I didn't throw it at him.
it
It
wasn't at
landed
him, but it wasn't
on
up
the
in the
it
air. It was on the
no,
side.
it was towards him, not at him.
Right. It
But it
was
landed at
towards
the
him.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was towards him. This wasn't up in the air. Yeah. It wasn't
right.
like directly beaming him. You're right. But it was off to
Mm,
the side of him. I saw it. Yeah. You just kind of did like
yeah,
a quick little. You
yeah,
were fast though. You were like quick trigger. Boom. It was so quick. So that's all I
yeah.
remember seeing.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you guys go, viewers. That was so dang funny, man. Hey,
Yeah.
become a high school official. Help us out, man. If you can do any better, you got knowledge of the
So
game,
much
no matter
fun.
what sport it is, football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, wherever it is, man. Come out and support your community and help be a role model, be a mentor to these young guys out there, man. All right.
Not only that, you get the best seat in the house.
Yes, absolutely. That's the best thing I love about doing football, man. It's fun and it's
Yep.
exciting. You gotta hear some things every now and then, but it's part of the game. It's okay. It's usually not most of the time. It's not too bad. Just occasionally it gets a little bit wild, but 90% of the time it's okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.